Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? NBA YouTube. This your boy Ross with The Rock Never Stops. Coming to you with some more NBA basketball content. Today, we're jumping on actually something that I foretold was going to happen maybe about 2 years ago. But I said, and I stand by it, and I say it again and again, Karl Anthony-Towns is as good as gone from Minnesota. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right in to why I'm doing this video about why he's gone. It's time. No more bullshitting. No more pandering around. No more hoping for the best. There comes a point in an individual's life where they come to terms with that it's time to go. There's no more hope that it gets better. And sometimes you just don't want to hope that it's going to get better. We saw this with Anthony Davis. He had made the playoffs a few times, got knocked out of the first round. Came a certain point where he's like, it's not me. It's not about me taking another jump. It's not about me getting even better. I'm great. I'm great right now. And y'all can't seem to figure this out to give me an opportunity to win. And why would I stay in this small market? But here's the thing. This didn't happen overnight. The reality is every superstar that gets drafted, one, you have to understand being drafted means it's not your choice to go where you end up. That means that you may not like the city. You may not want to live there. It may not be for your long-term career, legacy, earning potential outlook to be there, but you're drafted there. And so you got to make the most of it. And so, of course, early on during your rookie deal, you got 4 years on that thing. On your rookie deal. If you're a superstar, you're getting underpaid from jump. From the very first season, you're getting underpaid. You're playing like an all-star, getting paid like a journeyman. And this is something that please, please, if your favorite team is in a small market, understand this and really get this. You have a 7 year window. Sorry, let me do it opposite. 7 year window. 7 years to win a championship or get really close before that superstar stays. Especially if they're from the United States. Especially if they're in the United States where they understand coming from a small city going to a big city. They understand the feel of being in the United States where they get what it means to be a big deal in a big market, growing up with legacies like Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan, seeing Kobe, seeing LeBron on these huge stages. They get it. They get it. Now, players that come from overseas, they're a little bit more like, hey, stick to your club team. As long as I'm making the money, I just want to be someplace where I'm comfortable. And I admire that as well. But for American superstars, you got 7 years to prove to them that they should stay and that they can have a legacy here. Now, I want to compare really quick two superstars that we were going to contrast here to kind of like illuminate what I'm talking about. You have Anthony Davis that I mentioned earlier. He was a New Orleans Pelican. He had early success. I think it was Rookie of the Year. We knew he was going to be a superstar really from college, but all the way through rookie season, sophomore season, third year, signing a max contract, and then signing a super max later on. This dude did everything he could do, everything that he was capable of doing. And eventually, when he got to that point, and remember, he was saying all the right things the whole time. But the moment he got to that point where he said, this isn't going to work. And you know when I think it was that point when they got swept when they got swept in the first round. No, no, no. I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna take that back. I think where it was after they swept the Portland Trailblazers, or they beat them in five, something like that. Drew Holiday, Rajon Rondo wreaked havoc against Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. Anthony Davis shut down the interior. And then I think they went to the next second round and then they got swept. They got mollywopped. They got waxed. Right. And I think it was after that they're like, we just had the best run in my career. And we barely deserved to be in the second round. And I think that was when it finally began to click. It's not going to get better than this here. It's not. And I think he was there for another year, but you have to recognize that there's a point where a superstar realizes I'm as good as I'm probably going to get. I could try to push myself super hard to take another leap, but I'm already a superstar. And I don't have time to reinvent my entire self to give us a better chance at getting just a little bit further. And so when he won it out, he began to talk exactly like Karl Anthony Towns is talking now, beginning to see through all the flaws of the organization, all the flaws in the planning, or just how things just hasn't gone as planned. And it's like, look, this is just what it is here. But then there's some other aspects to point out. The Timberwolves have sucked for a long time. They've been to the playoffs once, once with Karl Anthony Towns. That's crazy. To have a superstar level talent, all star, one of the most elite centers, especially offensively, in the NBA, and you can't even get into the playoffs. Now, I know on ESPN, what's his name? I forget his name, but he was saying, one thing that Karl Anthony Towns could do is you could start playing defense because that's what'll help them turn the corner. If he ain't been playing defense this whole time, if his best on defense is still at least he's not a total minus, average at best. What do you think he's thinking when he says to himself, well, what the hell type of defense are we supposed to have? You bring in D'Angelo Russell. Malik Beasley's an okay defender. Anthony Edwards isn't exactly known for his defense. Most of that roster is offensive players, especially the ones that they're going to be dependent upon. And throughout his career, he hasn't had elite defenders around him. There's never been a defensive culture. And so it's not about him playing better defense. Will it help? Sure. But he's also an amazing offensive talent. And you know what? Minnesota should have done a better job of surrounding him with players who complemented him. Now, here's the other aspect of it. It's also hard to teach an old dog new tricks. By no means is Karl Anthony Towns old, but he's been playing a long time. Most of these guys start playing kindergarten, first grade. I started playing in first grade. But you got to think, that's 12 years before you even leave high school. Then another year in college. So you got 13 years of playing nonstop basketball before you start professionally as a superstar. Because you're only going to do 1 year in college or the G League. But then you come to the NBA and you become a legit superstar. You're unstoppable. Ain't nothing they can do with you. Only hope to contain you at best. At best. And if you got it going, you got a chance to beat anybody any given night. But here's the thing, you don't spend that much time working on your game to all of a sudden become a professional, a superstar, multiple time all star, all NBA player, only for somebody to say, well, the reason we haven't really gotten to the playoffs is because you haven't added this one extra thing. What one extra thing? What one extra thing you think I need to do as a legit superstar? Legit superstar. Legit. So then you got to say to yourself, so then where does he go? Where does he go? And this is the part that I believe seals it for me. And I've been calling this out for a long time. for a long time. He's going to the Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors have become a elite organization at poaching players who just want to win, just want to win. And not just poaching regular players, poaching all-star elite level players. Let's start with Andre Iguodala. Andre Iguodala was an all-star in Philadelphia. He was on the Olympic team. He was an integral part of that Olympic team. If you remember, it was the Redeem team with LeBron and them. And then he was an all NBA defender multiple times, an elite, what they call Swiss Army knife type player, where they do all the extremity things at an extremely high level. They just don't necessarily maybe like score also at a high level. But he was in Denver and didn't necessarily want to be in Denver. And he made that clear. And the Warriors came in and said, you know what, we got these shooters. We got this team trying to form an identity. We could really use somebody like Andre Iguodala. And what they do? They got him. And immediately became a contender. Then later on down the road, we all know who they got. Kevin Durant. What did Kevin Durant just want to do? Win in a good situation with help. Help that was unselfish and allowed him to still be great and play like a superstar. Win finals MVP. Be the best player on that team. You don't think Karl Anthony-Towns will want to go to the Golden State Warriors where he knows Stephen Curry is an unselfish a superstar? Draymond Green is the perfect setup guy next to him. You don't think that he's going to want to play where he knows the system is going to fit him perfectly, can utilize all his skill set on offense and then cover him on defense? You don't think he's going to want to go to an organization that knows how to win, has recently been winning, and he can step onto a platform and stage where he can really get the notoriety that he deserves, where he can become an all-star again? He can get back to that all NBA level. It won't be all on him either. He won't have to be the leader. He won't have to be the one that's to answer all the questions. He can come onto that team, be great. All the benefits, none of the takeaways. He's not even in the Kevin Durant category where he was in the Western Conference Finals against the Golden State Warriors and losing 7, right? Dropping a 3-1 lead and Warriors come back and then join him. He ain't even got that type of pressure. He's got no pressure. Matter of fact, everybody's clamoring, waiting for him to leave so we can all recognize him as a superstar. Now, here's the other aspect of it. The Warriors have the best package also for him. They can offer James Wiseman. They can offer Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody. Shoot, if they want Jordan Poole, throw in, why not? And then Andrew Wiggins. Now, there was an article on I think it was the Inquisitor. My boy sent me, he sent me a text. Yo, he hit me the other day. He was like, bruh, what did he say? I'm going to look it up real quick because it's hilarious. It's hilarious. He looks at me and he's like, he sends me this text. He said, hey, you should have been a GM. You missed your calling. Why? Because I've been telling him for years. For years. He's gone. In the perfect spot for him, Golden State Warriors. And sure enough, the Inquisitor comes out with a 3-team trade, sending Andrew Wiggins to the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're going to send LeGuins Dort, I think, to the Warriors? Was it to the Warriors or was it to oh no, to Minnesota. They're gonna send that player to Minnesota along with James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody. You have to realize James Wiseman got drafted right behind Anthony Edwards. Had James Wiseman gone to a Charlotte Hornets instead of a Golden State Warriors, where they were just like, look, here's the keys. We're going to build this around you, help you to have every opportunity to look great and to be a superstar. He probably would have won a Rookie of the Year. He's that talented, flat out. flat out. When you watch him move on the court, his ability to grab a rebound, block a shot, grab a rebound, and advance the ball looks like Giannis Antetokounmpo, straight up. And I'm gonna get back to him because he was the one I was comparing to against Anthony Davis, but I got sidetracked a little bit. But you have James Wiseman, who's a franchise cornerstone type player, potential superstar talent in his own right. Then you got Jonathan Kuminga, who at the age of 18, barely turning 18, was dominating the G League. And when I say dominating, he's averaging 16.7 rebounds. So what if it's bad efficiency? He's 18. He's dominating competition. He's the number one scoring option while dominating competition in the G League, which, if you don't really realize it, is nothing but a bunch of NCAA All Stars, a bunch of NCAA players who were just good enough to be considered for the draft, but not good enough to actually get drafted, or were in the second round, fell off a roster and hoping to get their way back in. But against NCAA All Stars, adults, grown men, he's the number one scoring option, averaging 16.7 rebounds. Jonathan Kuminga is going to be great. And you offer a team two potential franchise players to build around Anthony Edwards, who was the number one draft pick last year, runner up for Rookie of the Year, who looks like a potential future superstar. And you give them a reset button, another 7 years to figure it out and put it together with three potential superstar level talents. Yo, I love Chris Finch, the head coach for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think he did a great job with them last year despite all the injuries. Seems to have his X's and O's down, can connect with the players finally. And I think that they've got the right excuse me, they got the right like kind of foundation to bring those guys in and try to turn things around. But right now with Towns, Towns is done. Towns don't care how good Anthony Edwards is. Towns doesn't have the time to wait. He doesn't have the time to worry about uh can D'Angelo Russell figure out how to play good enough defense. He doesn't have time to figure out if he can take that next step as a superstar. He ain't got time no more. This is it. This is it. After this season, I believe next year he can exercise his opt out and the following summer become a free agent. That's almost guaranteed to happen if he doesn't ask for a trade this year, which I think is just imminent. I mean, the things he's saying, acknowledging about his franchise, we've all known. Minnesota's the shits. Excuse me. They're the shits. They don't run a tight ship at all. All they do is lose. They've been one of the worst franchises in the NBA since the Clippers had Donald Sterling. They don't know what they're doing. They don't run a ship where you can have any type of confidence. They've given them no reason. No reason. And so I'm going to keep it at this. If your team has a superstar and he's young, a LiAngelo Ball, right? You know, somebody who has a lot of potential, um, looks great, you're excited about, you got 7 years, six actually. You got 6 years. Because what did it take to keep Giannis Antetokounmpo being in the playoffs? What, 5 years in a row, 6 years in a row before winning a championship? He was knocking on the door for a solid 4 years of being a title contender. It was evident his team was going to do everything they could to get him over the hump. And he didn't have to become everything everybody wanted him to be in order for that potential to be realized. He evolved with that team. And at the same time, they were good enough whether or not he was going to evolve more or not, because he was there. He took that jump, that major jump in the finals. In the finals, he finally said, "Oh, I'm good. I can do whatever I want." And he did. With that, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, subscribe, leave some comments. I'm definitely going to try to get back to some of the suggestions. I got a lot of Atlanta Hawk fans, Houston Rocket fans asking me for videos. So I'm going to try to get something out to y'all pretty soon. But I wanted to do this one because I was pretty excited about the topic. Um, and I think it's going to be something special to watch because when Towns goes to the Warriors, that team's going to take off with or without Clay. They're going to take off. You're going to see it. They're going to see it. Probably the greatest shooting team ever. Karl Anthony-Towns, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, and that bunch there. So if you like the video, like, subscribe. But with that, I'm out. Peace.